Hi, everyone. In this microlecture, we will be reviewing the process for planning a program evaluation. So, some key ideas that we'll be discussing is the process of evaluation in general, the planning phase specifically, and then the evaluation plan and what components go in it. Evaluation can be thought of as a set of linked activities, and the process for undertaking an evaluation includes four main phases. First, it includes planning. Second, development. The third phase is implementation. And the fourth is action and improvement. You'll notice that this is a circular process. So all of the phases inform one another. And once you get to action and improvement, then you may need to move back into planning for new evaluation components. So, what are the basic steps of conducting a program evaluation? Well, within each of the four broad phases, there are 9 basic steps for conducting an evaluation. The planning phase includes building a logic model, defining the purpose and scope of the logic model, budgeting for the evaluation, and selecting an evaluator. The planning phase is followed by the development phase, which has one step, which is developing the evaluation plan. In the implementation phase, the evaluators collect and analyze data. And then finally, in the improvement phase, the evaluator goes through the last 2 steps, which are to communicate the findings of the evaluation and then to apply the findings and feedbacks for program improvement. Together, these steps are designed to help build a strong foundation for your evaluation. It should be noted that while some order exists to how programs generally approach evaluation steps, the process largely depends on the project's particular circumstances. In addition, the interdependent nature of the activities means that the steps are not necessarily linear, but may evolve throughout the development and implementation of your evaluation strategies. In this course, we will cover all of the steps and phases of the evaluation process. The program evaluation plan project will only focus on steps 1 through 5, where this big star stops. We are going to include planning for these other steps in the evaluation plan, but we will not implement the plan. So we won't be collecting data or analyzing data or reporting on our findings. What is an evaluation plan? An evaluation plan is similar to a roadmap or a blueprint. It clarifies the steps needed to assess the processes and or the outcomes of the program. An effective evaluation is meant to be a dynamic tool. That is, a document that you continue to update as you make decisions about what your evaluation will entail and how you will carry out your evaluation activities. This will be true for you in your program evaluation plan project. You may find after you turn in part 1 that you want to make some adjustments to your plan, and that is a normal part of the evaluation process. Your evaluation plan should be updated on an ongoing basis until you've reached a final point of documenting all the steps, activities, methods that your evaluation will cover. So, why develop an evaluation plan? An evaluation plan can clarify what direction your evaluation should take based on priorities, resources, time, and skills needed to accomplish the evaluation. The process of developing an evaluation plan in cooperation with an evaluation work group of stakeholders will foster collaboration and a sense of shared purpose. Having a written evaluation plan will foster transparency and ensure that stakeholders are on the same page with regards to the purpose, use, and users of the evaluation results. A written evaluation plan is useful because it creates a shared understanding of the purposes, use, and users of the evaluation results. It fosters program transparency to stakeholders and decision makers. It helps to identify whether there are sufficient program resources and time to accomplish desired evaluation activities and answer prioritized evaluation questions. And finally, it facilitates a smooth transition if there is staff turnover. So, lastly, in this micro lecture, we are going to discuss the components of an evaluation plan. The program evaluation plan project for this course includes instructions that are similar to what you would find in a request for proposals for a federal grant. And they're based off of guidance from the Corporation for National and Community Service, which is a federal agency that administers grants. They administer grants for AmeriCorps programs. So the components on this slide will create a well-rounded and strong plan for evaluating a program. For your PEPP project, you will have a section for each one of these components. You'll have a program description that describes the context of the program and the agency that it operates under. You'll have a theory of change section, which will explain the underlying problem that your program is intending to address. You'll have a logic model, which outlines how your program will address that problem and will connect to the outcomes and outputs that are expected to result from the activities of your program. Then you're going to create research questions. In this course, you are going to write questions for both a process and an outcome evaluation. One of your questions should answer a process-related issue, and one question should answer an outcome-related question. You'll notice that these 4 components at the top are part 1, which is due in week 4. After part 1, you'll get feedback from your professor and make some adjustments on those components in part 1 before starting on the final 4 components of the evaluation plan, which includes indicators or outcomes of interest. This is the section that you will be writing about how you are going to measure the outcomes that you're interested in. And these outcomes should help you to answer your research questions. Next, you will discuss your evaluation design. This refers to what type of research design, whether it be pre-experimental, quasi-experimental, or a true experimental design. Then you will discuss sampling. So, how are you going to decide who you will collect data from for the program evaluation? Will you try to get data from all participants, or are you going to get a sample of participants? And then lastly, you're going to describe your data collection and analysis plan. So, how are you going to collect data? Who is going to be responsible for collecting that data? Who are you going to collect the data from? What kind of instruments are you going to use? A validated scale? Will you develop your own scale? And then how you will analyze the data that you collect to answer your research questions. Hopefully, this micro lecture has given you a good and solid overview of the evaluation planning process to help you to conceptualize this major project in the course.